Step one is loading the yarn. The first thing that I do is feed it through these two different guides. The first one is a little trickier than the second. The first one is this little loop that you see right here, and the yarn needs to go in the front and come up. Okay. Once you've got that done, the second guide is easy peasy. It's just this little notch right here. Once it's in those guides, and it'll waffle in and out of that one as you're working, don't worry about that. Just once you get spinning, you'll need it to be in there. The next step is to drop it down the center hole, but what I find is that the yarn doesn't always want to go on its own, so I attach it to the needle, and the needle has enough weight to pull it through. Okay. Now you are preloaded and you're ready to get started. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take a peek in. We can see 4 little latch hooks in there. For the cast on portion only, we want to catch on the first and the third. So this is just for our first round. You can see it didn't quite catch on that one, so I'm going to count this one as the first. Oops. This one is the first because we were caught right there. And I don't want this one to pick it up. So I'm actually going to take the needle and just try to maintain tension. I definitely have my weight attached at the bottom, and so that's pulling down to give me the tension that I need. So that's 1 and 3. So I'm going to skip 4 again. I want to maintain tension, so I'm kind of supporting it with my left hand because I don't want the weight to yank the yarn through too hard. All right, once I have 1 and 3, I can continue, but this way catch on every single one of them. And I'm going to let go of the tension on my end. And I don't know if you can see below, but the weight is doing its job and pulling through. It's going to look a little wonky in the beginning. Adjust your weight if you need to by moving it up. You'll be doing that the whole time you're working. There we go. Give it a little tug as we get started. Keep giving it those little tugs. I know it looks like a giant mess. Just give it time. You can see it starting to take some sort of shape now. After you've worked for a while, you'll start to see the I-cord coming out the bottom. You'll want to reposition your weight every so often just to make sure that you have proper tension, because it's going to get too long for you to be able to hold the whole thing up, even if you're sitting. But just keep turning, turning, turning. And that I-cord keeps forming, forming, forming. Once you're ready to bind off, all you have to do is snip your yarn and let the machine do the rest. If you have any leftovers, you take your tail and just go through each one of those with your needle. I'm actually going to pull out a couple so I've got some length to work with. And you just run it through each one once. If you can pick them up. And as you can see, I'm splitting them. There we go. 3. And the last one, 4. So you just run your tail on through the remaining stitches. Give it a tug and you're all set, and you can hide this by sending it down. Same with your other tail. Just weave it on in straight down the cord and it can live inside the tube. If you have any questions, please leave them below.